Hello and welcome to another review video of Liren versus Gukesh. This is World Championship going on in Singapore. This is game number 12, and let's see. Till now, it's Gukesh 6 points and Ding's 5 points. So now, just let's dive into the review video. And I have no idea why Octo is angry, but let's see what happens in the game. So Ding starts with English opening. As expected, Ding English is actually good. I mean, I love watching him play English, and he doesn't play it in a conventional sense. I mean, anyways, you don't play anything in a conventional sense when you are at a World Championship, and your prep is a bit different. Like you have seconds. Seconds is like the team of people you have among other people as well inside. So these seconds are grandmasters from other countries or even same countries. So one of the second is Richard Rappo for Ding, but this is more of a Ding uh, style of playing English. But you can see some mixes of Rappo's style of gameplay later on. Um, and even in the previous games, there have been some effects. But even Gukesh has seconds, but other than Gayu, we don't know anyone else, and Gayu is not even his second. Like, so we don't know what the Gukesh team is, even though we staying in India, we don't know. I'm not saying in India, I'm saying Berlin, but I'm just saying like we have no idea who Gukesh's team is. Why I am saying this all because the thing is, you can see later on in the video, I'll explain. And Gukesh played e6. Now, mostly, even before when Ding played c4 English, Gukesh played e5 and a very solid line. And after that, this is kind of reverse Sicilian, and Gukesh plays this line really well. And somehow he drew with this line, I think. And it was all good. That prep was amazing. This is Gukesh's style. This is how he plays. But then maybe his team came up with something, and it's like now Gukesh was just following the prep that was advised to him by his team. So let's go with e6, and he went with e6. Yeah. So g3, and then d5. That's the only reason why e6 was played. And sure, I mean, after this you can just give up this pawn and still think that you have a great position in the opening. But again, these are just initial moves, and Gukesh just feels like pushing this d4 pawn, and obviously this will be met by e3 later on. Now the thing just castles, and this is like classical English opening where you just kind of fianchetto your bishop, and you have c4 pawn here, and then you have the knight here, but then it's not obviously going to be developed here, but somewhere else. So Gukesh, instead of playing c5, again played c6, knight c6. And at this moment you're like, okay, he's taking zero time in playing all these moves, so this is his prep. Trust me, this is not Gukesh. I don't see Gukesh in this. I see Ding in this because he has all the moves that Ding plays. But this kind of cramps this pawn, and now you are thinking your bishop can come here somewhere, but it's not that great here as well. So next move you'll see, yeah, e3 is played just to counter attack this pawn at the center. You can't push because it's not going to make sense because you don't have any support for the pawn, and then pawn will be eventually captured. So now instead of bishop going here, you have bishop e7. Again, this bishop is not doing much. It's just obviously making way for the king to castle, but trust me, like this is going to be an issue in the game later on, because now your both bishops are not that great in the opening. even though the computer shows almost zero for both, but doesn't seem like equal. And now d3 comes in because he doesn't want the pawn to be pushed, and now the pawn takes. Now again the bishop takes. Obviously there was some thought involved after this, because he thought for some time and then took it with the bishop. 4 minutes he thought you gotta take it with the pawn, but that's not ideal, because you'd want to maintain this symmetry at the king side, and your two pawns are doing great here as well. And mostly you see all the pieces of white are in harmony right now. The bishop is having this diagonal, knight is having the center, bishop is having the center. Knight can come in here anytime, any moment. The queen is very active here everywhere, and you can just put your rook here as well. So white is having amazing position, and here black is so cramped. Even though the engine says 0-0, I mean, humanly, if you see that, you'll say that, you know what, I'll prefer white any day, because again, black hasn't even castle. His minor pieces are not doing that great. His queen is also just on this file, and then it has nothing else going on for it. Basically, when you do this c5, you have your queens working in two places, as well as you have that pawn already brought forward with your bishop and knight for support. So Gukesh goes and plays e5. Even now he doesn't castle. He thinks that maybe, you know what, after this position I need to develop my bishop somewhere, or develop my minor pieces more, because at this moment he just saw that there was some problem going on with his opening prep. And the thing is, first initial 7-8 moves we didn't see Gukesh at all. This is the first time I'm trying to see Gukesh at the 8th move, that he played e5, and he's like, you know what, I need to develop my position a better way. So, but I guess it was kind of too late. Now the knight jumps in and every piece is developed for white. Even the rooks are having something to do. Here nothing is happening. Now he castles finally, and the rook comes to e1. As I said before, it will have amazing control over this file, because now it is kind of semi-open file with your pawn not being in the center, and this bishop needs to just go somewhere and activate this rook. So it's always good that you play rook e1. We have seen this move by Gukesh a lot in his opening, but obviously Ding with the white pieces, it was always Ding was favorite with white, because obviously anyone with white is favorite in terms of higher level grandmaster games, super GM games. But till now we were seeing positions which were very equalish, and Gukesh did manage to draw even with black pieces, and we always consider that it was amazing result. So now comes h6, which is kind of not that great, because see, again you want your knight to be doing something, you want your bishop to be doing something. What if you just put here, now you somehow make the bishop do something, like suppose, I mean, you can't do this because your pawn's falling. I don't know, maybe you can come here back, or maybe if you don't want to exchange, that is, and if you do want to exchange, you can just go here and then just take this bishop, and this is suddenly winning for black. So you need to do some proactive moves here, and obviously nothing was stopping here from the knight to come over there. But maybe, I don't know, Gukesh was thinking about this move, what if knight will come here, so he put this here. But then you see the knight move here, this stops the knight from coming here as well. So instead of committing this h6 move, he should have played something proactive. and tried to make the situation a bit different, because Ding was anyways thinking a lot in the opening, and you want to make Ding think in the opening more, because that's how he keeps thinking on the various lines and things that which one is the best one, and that's where you can get him. But Gukesh, instead of doing something like that, he played h6, and this is actually cramping the style even more, because now this pawn over here is very isolated, this alone. It will take a lot of time for this pawn to develop, and your knight is going nowhere. Uh, Basically anything is going nowhere for black, and it's just black is reacting to what white is playing. So again white goes to a3, thinking that this will come and this can be pressured. So even here he could have, if he didn't think of this, he could have even thought of this. And again obviously this is not a good move because of several reasons, because uh, yeah, let's not go into that because it's irrelevant. uh, when a3 is played, you have again immediately a5, which is obviously good for Gukesh. This was the obvious move that was supposed to be played, because you don't want to the b4 push from white. Again h3 is played, stopping this knight now from coming. Even here he could have played, instead of a5 he could have played g4, knight g4, and then played a5. uh, but I mean, okay, that's what happened in the game. And now the bishop finally develops here, which is again very cramped, and it's behind the pawn as well, so that's always skeptical. So once the bishop comes here, again the bishop is not doing much, but maybe he had some plans of queen coming here, or queen coming here, then rook coming here, and then queen coming back here. That could have been one of the things he could have done. So now the king comes in. Now the king is very safe. Ding just wanted to make sure that before he starts attacking, because this is Ding's do or die moment, he's behind 1 point. Uh, all he needs to do is save his king and just go on the attack, because this is the game that he has to turn back around, because afterwards it would be too late. So now Ding just safeguards his king. Now it's like the king can never be attacked, and all the attack is coming from the queen side of white. And so rook goes here to b8. Again did make much sense, but it was because that this diagonal was somehow threatening, and he didn't want any issues on that rank. But maybe he could have just gone queen d7, and then rook to, like suppose anything is played, like suppose this is played, rook goes here, and then suppose anything is played, like okay, suppose this is played, then you just play this, and you have this amazing file for your rook, and your queen is also looking here in this direction. And now the queen is actually doing something, only on one file, but it is doing something. And now it shows like black is winning, but obviously I made its stupid moves. But this was the plan that I thought would have been good. So rook goes here. Maybe he wanted to push, and you can never push this, by the way. So queen comes to c2, and now we have rook comes to e8. Again, I don't know, maybe he wanted to go back with the bishop, or wanted to keep it flexible for the bishop to go anywhere, because anyways this rook will never have any effect on this file, because it is blocked by so many things. Now again, the thing that happened when he didn't play c5, or put this pawn in a position where you can even play c6, is always good for the knight to not jump here. Now the knight jumps here, and attacks this c7 pawn, and you'll see how the c7 pawn may or may not fall. But this is a position where you can't just kick off this knight at all, because your bishop will have to come here, and then your knight will also have to go somewhere away from the position to attack it. You cannot attack this knight. A knight is staying here forever with the coordination of queen and the bishop looking here, and the another bishop which is fianchet looking over there in the diagonal. Yeah, bishop goes to f5, thinking that it will pin this pawn from progressing, because everything says here that d4 should be played, and because everything is supporting it, like 1 2 3, and if he puts another rook, 4 things, and if the queen is here, then 5. So d4 was the only play for white. Now the other rook comes into the uh, open area of the center, semi-open files. Both of his rooks are not that active at all. Uh, this is what worked for white, and now further he is developing his knight backwards, which is not a good sign. And here you're blocking the queen, you're blocking everything, you're blocking the bishop from going back. And again, I thought this was the maneuver that he was thinking. Um, but again, it was not making much sense. You could have just taken, and then it won't be that great. So now queen comes to d2, and bishop goes back, just to be sure that you're not threatened in any way. And also you just put your bishop here, like it seems like a semi fianchet of bishop. And now d4 finally comes in. It is protected by 1 2 3 4 5 things, and you just can't attack it enough. Here taking it would be a mistake, because now you can just capture with one of the other knights, because this you don't want to take with this knight, because this already went there. And now once you have a good position, you don't take your good piece out and then play that, because playing this knight would actually open up this file for bishop as well. And obviously you have this, and once you take, you can just take with the bishop, and now you have amazing commanding position with all your pieces in coordination. Both of your rook and queen are coordinated really well, and this is going to be very brutal, and everything is cramped here. Nothing can be played much. So instead of that, Gukesh did play a good move, which was like e4, and even now it seems like a bit drawish, but then there were some moves that were just not accurate later, because now Ding plays knight to g2. Now you'll see that knight to g2 is a backwards developing move for knight, but no, the knight is going to come to e2 and then come to f4 and then attack this bishop, and this center is kind of amazing for this knight. So again, two of the knights doing amazing work. This seems like a temporary backward move, but it will be amazing after two moves. So once this knight comes here, thinking that maybe somehow he will attack this pawn, and once the queen comes here, you have other things that you can attack it with. So somehow black wanted to play with some counter attack, but I guess it was a bit late. The queen comes here protecting this pawn. Now you have bishop coming here, pinning this d4 pawn from aggressing towards d5. And again the queen goes back. Now Ding is a genius. I don't understand Ding. He's so mysterious, man. He played this queen to c3, thinking that he will play this, but now the bishop has been committed to this move. So he just goes back and there is no pin here anymore. This pawn is blocked, right? It's not going anywhere. He just made his bishop come here. Now to go back here or vacate this pawn to just play f5, this bishop will have to go here and then f5 he has to play. There is so much like for the queen it's like one or two moves here. Changing tactics is good because they're attacking in both squares, but for bishop to be placed at one place you'll take a lot of time. That's what minor pieces versus major pieces advantage is. You have a move order that is going queen against a minor piece. The queen will have better chances of developing itself and placing it in a position where it's necessary. I always say this, that queen positioning is very important in equalish games, because wherever your queen is and your opponent's queen is will make a difference at the end. So queen goes to c2, and looking at this move it was like, wow, this is obviously top engine move, but also this is grandmaster level chess. This is world championship level chess going on. But sadly this was going on only from one side, which was from Ding's side. Obviously we know Gukesh can play amazing chess. Maybe he played with different setup with black. He couldn't have end up in this position where this is happening. No, you can't clutter your two minor pieces at one direction. Sure, the bishops are good in that way, but again these are behind before the pawns and not behind the pawns, so that's always never good. And the knights are also cramped here. He goes to a4, thinking that maybe somehow he can just go knight to a5 and then knight to b3. He'll have some counterplay, but again this would take two moves, right? And again it's not accomplishing much, but maybe he will somehow avoid this by coming here. This was supposed to be a good tactic. Like suppose if you have this, you come here and now somehow it's again drawish, right? You can't take this, it's fine, everything is fine, everything is going well. You can take this pawn, but then you are giving up this center, and now you have other moves that could be brutal for black. Maybe you play here and attack this pawn by rook and knight. So this would have been good. Now see the maneuvering of knight begins. Knight to e2 comes in, and now there is a slight inaccuracy where he wanted to exchange the bishops. Now if you know that the knight just came to g2, obviously it is going to develop to f4, right? Blocking this exchange and attacking this bishop. Why would you enable that? Why would you let that happen? In chess, there are always moves that prevent your opponent from doing something. You have to play those moves. Here, you know what? This would be amazing move. Because now you are attacking this pawn twice, and then now you are just I don't know, like you're threatening this b5, b3 as well, and again you are attacking from the sidelines and doing something. But because now you play this, wait, what? Yeah, you played this, right? Now you play this and then you have this amazing move, or you can even attack this pawn here. Maybe he was afraid of this move, but again this is not that threatening, you can come here in the center and attack this bishop again. Although this position shows white has advantage, but it is very unclear that how it should be progressed. And thus we have excellent move by Ding coming to f4, knight f4, and now you're attacking this bishop, and you have the center, and it's the greatest placement of a knight. Now you have to take the knight, because if you don't take the knight, suppose maybe you play your bishop here, so now suddenly what happens is you get pawn to d5, or you can even get pawn to c5, and now your knight is not going to many places. So even if you play this, you just play take this, and queen takes, and nothing much is happening. Yeah, you can even take this here, and yeah, kind of white is in amazing advantage after that. And if you don't play the knight here, you play this knight here somewhere, again there is a lot of things that are happening. You can go here, you can double attack this pawn, you can also come here maybe. No, that would not make sense. Yeah, I mean, you are somehow not caring about this exchange, but here there is a lot of initiative. You can even go here. So yeah, what happened in the game was takes, he had to take that knight somehow, and now see that obviously it's attacked twice here, so you just protect it with the rook. Now queen comes to c3 again, and now you don't have a black bishop to threaten it anymore, and now the knight goes back, basically just giving up his knight rook somehow, and playing for some initiative, but somehow Ding did not see that. He just played with his move to d5. There was this amazing move that was coming in where you can just trap the queen somehow. I think it was yeah, when you open up this file, that's when it happens, not now. So the queen comes up, thinking that obviously the queen is trapped here, kind of it's not moving anywhere, and eventually it will fall. So now the pawn comes in, and now it's threatening to take this pawn and also open up this file which is attacking the queen. And now c5 is played again. You are putting up a lot of holes here in your position, and it's kind of GG from here. Knight goes here attacking the rook. The rook goes back. He takes the pawn eventually, and knight is played to c6, and he just takes it and goes back. Ding is playing so solid. He's just like, okay, fine, I'm taking advantage, I'm going back, going to my cocoon, attacking again, going back to my cocoon. He was very mysterious in this game. Understanding Ding has been very difficult. Sometimes he plays very passively, sometimes he plays very aggressively, very flawlessly. Somehow in the first game you saw that, I talked in my review as well, he attacks you from all the directions, like a prey. He's surrounding you from all the directions with his pieces, and you feel very cramped. This is the second game that I felt Gukesh was very cramped, but between all these games it never felt that Gukesh was cramped. So Ding is a mystery for me, for the whole chess community as well. And again, now we double up this pawn here in the center. This is very amazing, because now you take up one more pawn, and the rook comes here, and now it feels like it is GG because now you're promoting this pawn as well eventually. Gukesh tries some moves. This was low on time, doing thought for some moves for some time as well, and Gukesh also gave a lot of time for some moves. So maybe Gukesh thought there were 5 more moves left and 5 minutes left on the clock, so he would somehow pressurize thing for time, because right now it felt like lost for black. But then there are some still again some gameplays left, but nothing was happening really. A pawn push and then it is just GG because you take this amazing pawn and sacrifice your rook, because now when the king takes, you take the rook with a check, so now you have to react. You take this, you promote up queen, and then it's GG. uh, and if you don't take the bishop, you go here, you anyways promote your queen. So again, Gukesh resigned in this position. This game was gone in the beginning, in the opening, for sure. But there were a lot of things that he could have done, Gukesh. And I really feel that here he just gave up his rook, which Ding did not see this move. He said in the press conference that he really did not see knight to a7, which is understandable, that he was just concentrating on the center, pushing these pawns and looking with this bishop and rogues. He just did not think of this cheap tactics. He just felt like he can somehow develop this pawn and just play on merit and win by promotion. So sometimes you just have to look at the bigger picture and then see how you can just outplay your opponent where the opponent has no chance at all. And this game felt like Gukesh had no chance. You can't even do this right now. Um, yeah, this game was quite lost in a lot of sense. Uh, but yeah, there were some several. Let me just flip the board. There were some positions where black could have had some things going on, but then it it should have begun here somewhere when this crucial move was not played. H3 was not played. You have to go here with your knight, as I said before, and attack here. But yeah, this game was kind of lost. I really feel bad for Gukesh. Now the score is 6-6, and even Octo is very angry about it. Yeah, I don't know if Gukesh can come back. Maybe the last 2 games can be draws, and then it should go into tie breaks, and then tie breaks, anything can happen. I think this match is going towards the tie breaks, because you have 2 matches left. Tomorrow is the rest day, um, rather today when I'll upload it. And yeah, on Wednesday and Thursday we have 2 games, and then on Friday we can have tie breaks if the score remains tied. Yeah, there was a way the queen could have been trapped as well. I forgot the move order. Maybe this was something like I don't know. It was, yeah, I forgot that. But it was amazing. It was suggested by Vishwanathan Anand. He was live on Chess West India and he had this amazing line going on. But again, I would like to congratulate Ding and all his fans. I'm also like semi-Ding fan, but like more of a Gukesh fan. But I'm happy that there is still life in this World Championship, because yesterday we just thought that Gukesh won. Hey, now it's going to be just Gukesh dominating everything and Ding will just fall. That did not happen. So I'm glad about that. Also, I just want to say a couple of things, that we have our memberships live. You can log on and take the membership. You have the membership perks and everything explained in the community post. You can view it. Uh, Also, I got new lights, guys. Look at this. That's great. Uh, yeah, I just like to play with the lights. Sure, but I think eventually, I think that Gukesh should catch up with Ding. I hope he will catch up with Ding because that's the only thing Gukesh is here for. He wants to come here, prove that he's can be the world's youngest grandmaster. And I think even if it goes to tie breaks, it is 50-50. It is kind of 52-48 against Gukesh, but I still think anything can happen, and Gukesh can somehow, if he plays the way he plays and just stops thinking about this prep, what feels natural, he plays that, because Ding said in his post-match interview that he did not play like the prep. There were some preps, initial moves that he played with prep, but then he just thought, you know what, this is something else is happening, so he had to improvise and he played chess after that. See, that's the thing. You have a team, obviously you have to listen to them as well, but when it comes to instincts, a mature player or a player who's in his 30s, he will play the way he wants to play, right? He will obviously see his team as a team of consultants rather than the player himself, because he is the player, he has to decide. And Gukesh has to learn all these things. He is very young, he will obviously respect his team and their decisions, but he has to also understand that he has reached here till now, uh, fighting in the world championship because he is Gukesh, because he is that player. So if he starts remembering that, he can totally draw with black, man. He can even win with, he won with the black pieces in the third game. So third game or fourth game, yeah. So like I mean, he won a game with black pieces and white pieces as well. So I think the two games that are coming, where next we have Gukesh as white and Ding with white later on, the 14th game. I think the 13th game would be decisive. Uh, Either way, anyone wins, I think that is the person who is going to win. Thank you so much, guys, for watching everything. Do subscribe to the channel and also like the videos. I post videos every week. I'll be posting with some new series as well soon. For that, do check out the membership perks. And thank you so much, guys. Bye bye. See you later on Wednesday with another review video. Let's go. Bye. It's okay. Stop being angry, bro. Bro, it happens. It happens. He'll bounce back. Don't worry. It happens.